Today we'll begin a new chapter, that is chapter 38, Miracle of the Poor, Brahmins, Samardhana. This chapter describes how Guru Nath made the food prepared for a couple of persons, Akshaya, and made it suffice for a large Samardhana, for thousands of people to be fed sumptuously. Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. Wishing you all a very happy Guruvar. Happy Thursday. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. And also wishing you all a very happy Maha Shivratri. Siddha Yogi continued his narrative. The influx of devotees to Gangapur for Guru Nath's darshan was increasing day by day. They used to offer bhiksha to Guru Nath, and they also used to do samardhana, that is, feeding a large number of people of the town on that occasion. Not a single day passed without a samardhana in the town of Gangapur. One day, a poor Brahmin by name Bhaskaraya came to Gangapur for Sri Narasimha Saraswati's darshan and also with the intention of offering him bhiksha. But as he could not afford much, the provisions he brought along with him for the purpose of the bhiksha was scant and would hardly suffice for 2 or 3 persons. He had Guru Nath's darshan and requested him that though he was poor, he would be privileged if Guru Nath accepted bhiksha from him too on one fine day. To this, Guru Nath gave no reply and kept silent. Thus Bhaskaraya too remained at Gangapur, hoping that Guru Nath would accept his bhiksha someday. He used to stay in the mutt itself, and for his food he used to go to the Samardhana every day. The other Brahmins started criticizing and ridiculing him that it was not proper for a Brahmin to be taking his food daily at the Samardhanas only. But the Brahmin had no other means, and he carried on like this for 3 months, waiting for Sri Narasimha Saraswati to talk to him and accept his bhiksha. Then one day, in the morning, Guru Nath did send for Bhaskaraya and told him that he should prepare for the bhiksha that day. The Brahmin felt very happy. With the meager provisions which he had brought along with him, he started cooking food for the bhiksha, which should suffice for Guru Nath and himself. Sri Narasimha Saraswati told all the Brahmins who came for his morning darshan not to leave the place, nor go back to their homes without partaking of the food at the bhiksha and samardhana, which Bhaskaraya was going to do at the mutt on that day. And all the Brahmins thought that Guru Nath must have provided from the mutt all the provisions needed by the Brahmin for the samardhana. Sri Narasimha Saraswati then told the Brahmin to bring the food he had cooked and to place it before him. The Brahmin, with great trepidation and embarrassment, brought the scanty food he had cooked and placed it before Sri Guru Nath. Guru Nath covered the vessel containing the food with his shawl. The Brahmin offered his worship to Guru Nath. After the worship was over, Guru Nath asked the Brahmin to start serving the food to all the assembled Brahmins, but keeping the vessel containing the food covered with the shawl. The Brahmin started serving and the food became akshaya, that is inexhaustible and undiminishing. We say that is called akshaya patra, from which the food doesn't get over at all. It keeps coming in, it keeps coming out. That is what it is. Besides the Brahmins, people of all castes, their families and their children were also served food. Thereafter, Guru Nath asked the Brahmin to take his food. Why did Guru Nath did this? You might wonder, right? He was first of all testing Bhaskaraya whether he had faith in the Guru. He waited, he had to be there in the mutt for 3 months. Till Narsimha Saraswati on his own said, okay, now you cook for the Samardhana, and I will come and accept the offering. But till that point, Bhaskaraya had to wait. And most important here, the lesson is faith and patience. Shraddha and Saburi, like what Baba teaches us. We need to have absolute faith, and patience is extremely important. It is not the way you think things has to happen. It is how the divine Lord wills it. It will happen on its own. And when that happens, it is magical, because you couldn't even have fathomed what is going to come about. This is the supreme truth which a man, a human being, fails to understand. Why? Because our minds gives us petty imagination which is only to its capacity, because we cannot see beyond our nose. We can never think like how the universe, how the divine Lord Almighty thinks, because he's the universe himself. He's a Parabrahman. So is there anything that can fall short in his world? Of course not. So we only think from our own petty yardstick. What can your mind show you? It can't show you anything. So it's always going to say, oh, how is it possible? You only have food, or the provisions which can cook food only for two people. So what is that you can offer to anybody? So it's going to show you all the downside. It is going to tell you, where is the money going to come from? What is going to happen? How am I going to do this? How will I do that? Constantly the doubts are created. But here Guru Nath is giving a very beautiful lesson. When you have the Shraddha and Saburi, magic happens with the Guru's grace. You get an Akshaya Patra. That food will become limitless. How many people you want to feed, you can feed. But the power of the Guru's words is unfathomable. And most important, what is that you need to have? Your faith, absolute faith, complete surrender to the Guru's words. How he works, how he makes that happen. Why is it your problem? It is his it is his will. How he's going to make it happen is none of our business. And why are you trying to think, oh, where is the money going to come? How am I going to do this? Oh, I have so much expenses. Don't even be bothered. The one who has given you birth, doesn't he know how to take care of you? Of course, yes. If he has made that, the thought or whatever that, you wish to do, is you think it has come from somewhere else? No, it has come because he wants to accept it. So you are going and telling the Guru Nath, I want to offer Samardhana and Bhiksha to you. Please come and accept. That is the thought that has come. You think it is going to happen without the will of the God? Of course not. But please remember, it is only going to happen at the God's appointed timing, not when you and I want it. It is never going to happen when we are all in the egoistic, thinking egoistically and thinking, I want to offer. Who is this I who wants to offer? You can only offer when the divine will comes, when the divine calling comes, when his will, his will works. Only then can you offer anything to the divine Lord Almighty. You can think anything on this planet Earth. My Guruji says, my Krishna Guruji will tell, I let people believe that they are giving me. What does it mean? We all think, oh, I am offering to my Guruji. I am the one taking care, or I am doing this. But what we don't understand, or what anybody doesn't understand, it is he who is making use of tools like us to serve the purpose of the Lord Almighty in this world. So he'll say, my Guruji will say, sometimes when somebody says in an egoistic manner, he'll say, I'm using idiots like you in this world. You might think, oh, I am the one who bought it. But who is the one who's going to make you buy that? It is me. But I will let your ego believe that it is you who are doing it. That is what my Krishna Guruji says, because the divine Lord Almighty doesn't take any credit. He doesn't acknowledge that he's the doer. Neither will he ever tell you that, it is only happening because of him. He's not even going to draw attention or, spotlight on him. He doesn't even want you to know who he is. You think Lord Shri Krishna is so easy to be known? No, you can't. The word Krishna means secretive, unknown. Nobody can know him except only with Lord Shri Krishna's grace alone. Those whom he chooses to give that grace, to recognize him, only those devotees can know him in reality. Nobody else. What he will cover you with? His Maya. and then there's nothing that you can do. And so you will think, I am the one who's providing, I am the one who's offering. But what you fail to understand is, this body is just a tool in the hands of the divine Lord. It is the Guru, the universe, the Parabrahman who makes everything happen. In fact, there's a very beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter. Lord Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, see, if you give into your mind self-conceit and deceit and stand, in vain resolve, saying that I am not going to fight, please remember, you're going to perforce perform the same action born out of your own nature as though mounted on a machine. But who is that making it happen? The power of the divine Lord, his Maya. And then if you don't listen to him, and then you're still going to do the same thing, whatever he has asked you to do, you will end up doing the same thing. But it will not be done when the divine Lord wants you to do it, but it will be done any which way in your lifetime at some point in time. And that time what happens? You will incur karma. Sins will come to you. So that is why my Krishna Guruji will say to us, please listen to what I am saying. Obey my command. Don't question me. Don't ever doubt me. I only care about everybody's well-being. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. Neither I am interested in your money nor what you give me. I am an avaduta. I am a free being. I come with nothing. I go back with nothing. I am nothing. That is the truth. He is a nothing. He is everything too. That is who he is. But the point is that he is only coming here to serve a purpose, to put all the spiritual aspirants on the path of dharma and to establish righteousness and to show you what is your swadharma and what is dharma as well, so that you don't fall off your duties. You have to perform your duties born of this human birth and born of your own nature, the nature which you have been given at the time of your birth by Prakriti, the mother nature, we say. Why do we say that? Nature comes from her. So everybody has certain nature for which for which they have got through this body, and they are supposed to do that job. So we cannot say somebody is right, somebody is wrong, none of those things. But the most important lesson here is the faith in the Guru, the faith in the divine Lord. I'll give you two important stories in this context. One was a very beautiful story of Lord Shri Krishna, Draupadi and the Pandavas and Durvasa Maharishi Muni. When Pandavas were in the forest, they were going through that 14 years of exile period. At that time, Durvasa Mahamuni and all other rishis along with him come, his koteri comes where Pandavas were living in that forest and says they are very hungry. And what happens is Draupadi has cooked the food and she had finished serving everybody, the Pandavas, and there was no food left. At that time, she didn't know what to do, because when Durvasa Maharishi Muni has come, he is hungry, he's saying. You think he will go empty? And it's a sin that you cannot, like we say, yesterday we learned, Atiti Daivo Bhava. So when the rishis come, the Parabrahma himself is coming. So they're the great rishis, the sages. And Durvasa Maharishi Muni also is an aspect of Lord Shivji himself. So what happens at that time? So you cannot say no to the God, the great, Parabrahman. How would you say? So she is in a dilemma. She doesn't know what to do. And then suddenly, from nowhere, she prays to Lord Shri Krishna. She considers Lord Shri Krishna as her brother. And that time, Lord Shri Krishna comes and he says, what happened? How can I help you? And that time Draupadi says, look, Durvasa Maharishi Muni has come. He has gone to have his bath and I need to serve him. The entire, he and his students and everybody with him have come here. I don't know what to do, because we just emptied, the food vessel. Everybody is finished eating. I have nothing remaining to serve them. So I don't know what to do. And if we don't offer him food, he will curse us. So she was in a desperate situation. At that time, Lord Shri Krishna says, is there, just go check if you can offer just a grain of food left from the vessel. She said, no, I have cleaned it. I've just finished cleaning it. She says, no, go look. And then Draupadi takes that vessel in which she had cooked food and she goes and checks. There is just one grain of rice. The cooked rice is there. It's sticking somewhere to the vessel. He says, give that to me. And you know what Lord Shri Krishna does? He accepts that and he eats. The moment Lord Shri Krishna eats that one morsel or one grain of rice, literally Durvasa Maharishi Muni and all his people, all other rishis along with him, the students, everyone, they all feel, fulfilled. They feel as though they have all eaten a sumptuous meal. They're completely feeling truth. How does this happen? That is called faith. When the God, he eats and he accepts, his entire universe is fulfilled. Do you know the profound truth about it? And just one morsel, that is all he accepts. Rather, one grain of food, not even a morsel, one grain. That is it he ate. What does it mean? He can create magic, but do you have faith? She had absolute faith in Lord Shri Krishna. And then Durvasa Maharishi Muni says, oh, I'm filled. I feel like I've eaten a sumptuous meal. I don't want. And then he blesses Draupadi and Pandavas and they leave. That is the greatness of these divine beings, but we always doubt them. We think they are always there to, do something bad. You need to understand the gurus, the great divine masters are always guiding you so that you can evolve on your path. See, please understand your life, whatever you have to achieve is predestined. It is already laid. The path is already defined. You just have to walk the path. Listen to the ordain of your Gurudev. Whatever he's instructing you, listen to his command and follow exactly what he's asking you to do, and magic shall happen. And I think I have repeated this story of my own, which I told you when I at a point in time when I didn't have a job and my Guruji had given me, he had gone somewhere and somebody had offered to him some Guru Dakshina. There was some money in the packet. I have not even counted how much it was. He just handed it over to me. And during, we had gone on a pilgrimage. During that journey, I was taking some money out of that to offer, at the temples to the priests and whatever dakshinas we were offering. And it was magical because I did not count exactly, okay? The cover was always closed. I would just remove some amount and offer it over there. And it was magical because the money kept coming from that. But how does this happen? That is the faith in the Guru. You think there was some, please don't say that, oh, you have the packet. No, it happens at a moment in time only to show you that who this Guru is. His, the kind of greatness that he has. He doesn't have to use any of his powers. He's not here to show how powerful he is. See, he's not even doing anything. But his Ashtasiddhis work around him and they're always saying Tatastu, they bless you. And the Divine Lord Almighty's way of working is very unique. And even to date, I don't even know where I have kept that cover. So everybody will ask me. I didn't even tell my Guruji at that point in time. Much later in life, I told him about it. And he was like, okay, can you give that to me? He just makes fun. But somebody who doesn't have anything, he doesn't covet anything, there is no bank balance, there is no money. How does it happen? Because they are desireless being. They are not in want of anything. On the contrary, this entire universe belongs to them. And what is that you can offer to someone who owns this universe? Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji has said, what can you offer the gardener? You're just going to pluck 2 roses from his own garden and offer to him? Likewise, he owns everything, yet he owns nothing. Everything is his alone, yet nothing is his. How profound is that? And he's an Avaduta, can walk out any time and just disappear in this world. But why does he come and why does he have to go through this worldly life, painful existence? He's actually not feeling it pain, but it appears. But to be very honest, as a body, he has to suffer for everybody else. So that's the pain that he definitely takes. Why? Because only he is capable of it. Not anyone, any other being, because you have to attain that level of spiritual, I wouldn't say the growth, but you have to become the divine being to be able to take other people's problem on yourself and suffer, not otherwise. Where, they are mind, there's no mind to them. They are this universal mind. They are the supreme self themselves. They are para brahma. The body is just a vehicle which they have donned like a garment. And they're just using the body to teach, to serve the purpose. Like I already mentioned, we have talked enough of what is the reason why they manifest. So, the most important lesson here the Guru Nath is telling is you might have just a little bit grains, but remember, with the Guru's blessing, that will itself become an Akshaya Patra and you can feed as many people as you want. This is the greatness. And why did Narasimha Saraswati invite all the Brahmins? Please, you need to understand, those Brahmins were ridiculing Bhaskaraya. They were trying to mock him. They were trying to question, oh, how petty, how small. In this, what is the other lesson? It is destroying the ego of all these Brahmins who were ridiculing Bhaskaraya, but whose love for Guru Nath was amazing. His faith in Guru Nath was absolute. He was bearing that insult only with that faith that one day my Guru Nath will tell me, please offer that samadhana to me today. And he was waiting that hope. That is why we say faith and patience. What does the lesson teach her? Yeah, the world is going to ridicule you, call you names, say all sorts of bad things. But are you going to give up your faith just because they are doing it? Absolutely not. And please remember, when the grace of the Lord, when He is on your side, there's nothing shall befall. That is what Baba says. Why fear when I am here? You don't need to fear. Why have to? You have not done anything wrong. You're following a righteous path. You're truthful. When you're doing all the right things, why are you afraid? Likewise, like as I gave you an example in my own, work, where I felt, oh my God, everybody is doing a great presentation and I'm not able to, contribute. But what happened? My Guruji, my Krishna Guruji gave me a very profound lesson. He says, why bother? You have done your part, and you went and did something which they have not done. So that is what it is. How do you bring value? What is it you are able to give to the, job that is offered? Who am I reporting? This job is given to me by my Lord Shri Krishna. So I am only reporting to him. Everybody else in the world is just an instrument. They think they are giving me the job, but the truth is I know who has given me this job. So I have to be very sincere to the job. Work is worship, because I am worshipping my Lord through my job. And every day my Krishna Guruji will say, what is that you bring to the table? How good are you in your job? You need to put hard, you need to put a lot of effort. It's not just saying hard work. And my Krishna Guruji once taught us, we all say, he gave a very nice example. I've already given the story about it, but I'm not going to go in details. Like, it's very important to understand that the word hard work or hardly work, today we are not doing hard work, we hardly work, and we believe that we are doing too much. That is your perception. My Guruji will say, go take any of the greatest people on this planet Earth, like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Warren Buffets of the world, or even Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci had come up with 10,000 inventions, which is handwritten along with a prototype. Can you imagine the kind of effort that person has put in, heart and soul into it? And he never became famous, but he was dead and gone. And after that, his work and everything became famous. But he didn't run after saying, okay, I need to achieve success. One most important lesson which my Krishna Guruji always teaches us is, your job is to do alone. Don't bother about the end result. What comes out of it is none of your business. But give your best shot to it. Be very sincere and truthful to what you do. What is God given. There is something on the table and you have to be the best at the job. So don't be relaxed. Don't be tamasic in nature. See, tamas is going to, literally bog you down. But you should not fall for tamas. Tamas is lethargy, inertia, I don't want to do, I don't feel like getting up. These are all things that's going to happen. And we did this beautiful lesson in Devi Mahatmyam, where the Mahishasur becomes the mind himself. He conquers. The moment he gets the throne of Indra, what has happened? Then he's only influencing tamas in you. You're empowering the demon within you. On the contrary, you have to empower that God. And that is what Devi Mahatmyam is all about. How she destroys this demon and becomes great. The greatness of this Devi. This Devi is none other than you and me. So we have to make her great within us and not let this Mahishasur rule our world. That is the most important thing you need to understand. And the next most important, through this lesson, have that faith. Magic will happen. You will see everything will happen. Everything is happening for the good alone. But are you able to withstand this kind of insult? People are going to mock you, ridicule you, insult you, and talk all sorts of nonsensical stuff about you. Think that you're a waste there. You don't even have brains. Everybody else has lot of brains. But don't worry. See, on your side, there is Lord Shri Krishna. They don't have any of this Lord with them. They don't even believe in them. So why are you afraid? Don't worry. Something will happen. But you keep continuing your faith. Do your job. without bothering to what others are saying about you. Your faith has to be absolute. There should be no two ways about it. Come, even let the mountain fall on you, let there be whatever, calamities, nothing should deter you. Have that absolute faith, because your guru's hand is on your head. The benediction of your Lord Shri Krishna and your Gurudev's hand is on your head. No calamity shall befall you. This is the Satya, this is Param Truth. But you cannot go against what he says, please remember. But if you don't obey the ordains of your Gurudev, then you are letting destiny rule your world, and then Maya comes into existence. Then even the Guru, the God, cannot do anything about it. Please remember. The unfortunate part then that happens is the Guru, just to save you, will have to take all the sin on himself, and he has to suffer, which means his body can crumble and he cannot hold on to that body for too long. The body can only suffer so much because it's perishable. Please remember. And how much more you want your Guru to suffer? You want to pain your God just because you want to not listen to what he's saying, always giving into your mind's self-conceit and deceit. That is not a done deal. No student can ever cause pain to their Guru. On the contrary, you have to wear yourself out for the service of your master. That is Guru Bhakti. The only two ways, only two things required to attain the spiritual wheel is service unto the lotus feet of your Gurudev, seva to your lotus feet of your Gurudev, and most important is following his command, and devotion unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Service unto the Guru is the most important thing, and bhakti, love and devotion, these are the two integral part of attaining spiritual wheel or God realization. And bhakti also doesn't mean that I will put my husband, wife, father, mother first, then God comes second. That shows where your priorities are. It is very clear. That is not called bhakti. Your God has to be number one in your life. This is what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji taught. Initially we say I, amma, amma, but when the skin of that calf is they tan it, right? At that time, when the tanning, the sound, if you hear, it says tuhu tuhu. So what happens is, initially we are always saying hamma hamma, and when you go through that rigorous process, then it automatically says tuhu tuhu, which means thou. First, God has to come first. You have to be secondary in your life. You cannot put anybody else in front of God. The number one priority in your world has to be God, because he's your karta dharta. He's everything. He's the greatest mother, the greatest father, the best friend of your life. He's everything. There is no replacement to him. He's always ever waiting with his hands open. Come to me. Look at me. I'm just here. He doesn't ask anything from you. What does he ask? All he asks about is your love and devotion. Is that too much to ask? Oh, you know how to love your girlfriend, how to love your boyfriend. You will immediately, send all sorts of message. But what happens to the Guru and the God? They take a back seat. Is it they are only there to suffer your karma? Is it? This is the reality. We are all very selfish people. Please understand, when you are selfish, that is exactly what you will also get back. But the Guru is the greatest mother, the compassionate mother. He'll ensure that his child is always he's taken care of. There's no calamities can ever befall him. He's always protecting. Even he protects. Even though you do all your misdemeanors against him, he protects you. That is who he is. And one important thing, I'll tell you, my Krishna Guruji, there has been many students who have come to him and gone. He has initiated and they have left and gone away. And when you leave your Guru and go away, that is the greatest sin that you can incur. You cannot leave your Guru, and because of some people who have gone away. But you think my Guruji has left them? Of course not. Even today, they might not know, but my Krishna Guruji is ever protecting them. He ensures that their life is smoother. His grace of firewall is always around them, no matter which part of the world they might be. They might be angry to him, but my Guruji is not. The reason, his tests are very difficult to withstand. The day you get initiated, please remember, all your karmas comes under his, at his footsteps, at his foot. He has to bear. And when he says something, don't do this, please listen. And if you go do it, then he is going to suffer for it. You don't understand the repercussions, what happens. And we will have to lose such a great being. And that just because of your stupidity and some selfishness of yours. You cannot do that. And this is for everybody. whether it is for me or whether it is for anyone, those who have a guru in your life, please remember, never go against him. The only way we can extend our Guruji's life is by being in love, by giving him all the love. You have to give that love and devotion. What does Lord say? Just sing the praises of your Gurudev, Lord Shri Krishna. What does the devotees do? When the devotees gather, they only talk about the glories and the beautiful pastimes of this divine Lord Almighty. And what does Madhurashtakam mean? It only sings the glories about Lord Shri Krishna. Speaking about how beautiful his eyes, how beautiful is his lips, how beautiful is his ear, every aspect of Lord Shri Krishna. We have to adore him, we have to admire him, and we have to, venerate him. But we don't do that. We are very lost. We are very focused in our world. I want to make money. I want to go abroad. I want a job. I want to get married. I want children in my life. I want a baby. Our desires are endless. I want to build something. I want to build a house. You come here, go see into everybody human's life. They only care about their well-being. My daughters have to get a good education. I need to ensure my brother is getting divorced. This one is getting something. Who cares about all that? Can you come and say how much you love the Lord? Are you only coming with your begging bowl? No. It is very important to ask for, the grace of the divine. Talk about, sing his praises. Yes, we can always say our pains. You think the divine Lord Almighty doesn't know what you're going through? And please remember one very important lesson. Whatever you are suffering, whatever that you're going through as this body is because of your prarabdha karma. God has nothing to do with that, or your guru has nothing to do with that. The prarabdha karma which you have done, which you have committed from in the previous many births of yours, that is the reason why you're suffering, not because the God is bad to you. Any sickness, whatever that might be. So don't ask for that. Seek the spiritual grace, seek the spiritual wheel from the Guru. The Guru is sitting to impart this knowledge so that you can perform nishkama karma. The Guru can, clear off your sanchit and your agami, but he can't do anything about your prarabdha karma. He can only cushion you. How do you think that he's able to cushion you? Because that 90% of this karma, he is suffering through his body. Do you understand? But a Guru will never say that. He's never going to show the troubles he goes through to the child. Why? Because he doesn't want his child to know. That is the greatness of this mother. And you don't understand the compassionate of who this divine being is. So you need to be very kind to the master. You need to be very loving. You have to only sing his praises. Don't bring always your problems. My Krishna Guruji will say, in the morning, every day I wake up, I go out, I come back and say, oh God, today I have a headache, I have my footache. I know and I understand. This is a part of the spiritual process. I need not tell that. But yeah, I have a habit to speak it. But not telling him that I want him to suffer. No, I am ready today to go through this process. It is the sweetest of experience. Because if I don't go through this process, I don't understand what it is to be like my Guruji. To be him. I'm not saying I will ever take his position. Nobody can take on this planet Earth. My Krishna Guruji is Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. There is no comparison to him and nobody can take his position. But for me to just live his way of life, to be like him is a very important thing. That is my goal. That is my aspiration. He is the path, he is the way, and he is the destination for me. And to live like that, I love going through my process. It is painful, but I know my Guruji is holding my hand and walking me through this. But I have to go through practically to experience and understand what is being taught. Till you don't go through this, you will never understand. So it is important to have that direct experience. What does it mean? Then only you will realize. But this path is tough and it is a long drawn process. There is no shortcuts in spirituality. Neither there is any magic that can be done. I also had come to my Guruji in the initial stages saying, Guruji, I want fast forward. I want all the knowledge. I want to become the greatest, mightiest, whatever. But one thing that he blessed me with, you know what? I was telling him, I want to love you greater than any Radhas of this world, Radha Ranis or even Mirabais. I want to love you so much. I need this love has to become an Athanga Sangar. Every moment the love will go deeper. But this was my understanding of love even before I met my Guruji. And when he said, explain what love according to you is, when I explained to him, he says, you're talking about the love of Lord Shri Krishna. You can't find this in material world. That was That was my eureka moment. Oh my God, I am in love with the divine Lord Almighty and I'm trying to seek this love in human being. Human being you cannot find. The only love, this love, the true love can only be experienced when you have samarpan to the divine Lord Almighty. Only in Lord Shri Krishna, that love and devotion, which is unconditional and exclusive devotion. And that's the most sweetest experience of your life that you can have. So be devoted. Why are you devoted to your material, worldly, bodily attachments? Just do your duty and don't bother about them. Whether it is your son, daughter, husband, wife, brother, relatives, friends, family, colleagues. Oh my God, you cannot get this beautiful experience what you can get with the Lord, divine Lord Almighty. So, commit your life to God realization. It is not worthy of going and falling in the ditch, the mire and the muck of this material world. It is not worth it at all. So, coming back to conclude this lesson, the faith is what made Bhaskaraya, achieve what he wouldn't even have imagined. The grace of his guru, and also making the Brahmins who insulted him show his greatness. How much of bhakti he has on Gurudev is what was experienced even by the other Brahmins who were insulting him. So, the Brahmin offered his worship to Guru Nath, and after the worship was over, Guru Nath asked the Brahmin to start serving the food to all the assembled Brahmins, but keeping the vessel containing the food covered with a shawl. The Brahmin started seeing, and the food became started serving. That is inexhaustible and undiminishing. Besides the Brahmins, people of all castes, their families, and the children were also served food. Thereafter, Guru Nath asked the Brahmin to take his food. The Brahmin was told to remove the shawl that was covering the food all along. The shawl was removed, and lo, whatever food Bhaskaraya had cooked and what was in the vessel originally still remained. Bhaskaraya thanked Guru Nath, who asked him to feed dogs, crows, etc. for Bhuta Trupti, and also offer it to the aquatic creatures, that is fishes, etc. in the river waters. The little residual food still continued to remain undiminished. The small measureful of rice which the Brahmin had cooked could feed thousands of men and several other creatures too. Faith and grace can indeed work wonders. This is the true story of Bhaskaraya, and most important is this is to give you an understanding who is this Guru, what is his nature. This is one of his nature, what he can do to you. But do you have that kind of faith? That is the most important thing, which will get tested time and again, time and again, time and again. And even once you fail, that is it. It's gone. But your faith will move mountains. But your Guru, please remember, is going to constantly test you. He is not just going to leave you at all. This is how it happens. But it is very beautiful. It is worth enjoying those tests, because till you don't understand the meaning of these tests, you're never going to evolve on the spiritual path, no matter how painful it is. But going through the process of spiritual journey is extremely important. So thus ends the 38th chapter of Sri Guru Charitra, describing the poor Brahmin's Samardana. Glory to the all-merciful, the omnipresent and the ever-responsive Guru Nath. We have still 20 more minutes to go. We'll begin with a new chapter. Chapter 39, Aswatha Vrata Mahima. This chapter describes the birth of children to a barren woman past her 60s as a result of Guru Nath's blessings. Siddhamuni continues narrating to Namdarak the Leelas of Guru Nath. In Gangapur, there lived a Brahmin named Somnath Sharma and his wife Gangabai. They had no child and therefore they were very unhappy. When the woman reached the age of 60, she felt a sense of desolation and frustration in life. Gangabai used to visit the mutt daily and have darshan of Guru Nath. She used to perform arti before him along with offering prayers. She kept up this practice for years. One day, Shree Narasimha Saraswati asked Gangabai why she always looked so sad. She told him she was sad because she had no child, and as she had no child, all the other women looked at her with contempt. Being childless, she had lost her status as a grihini. A house without a child is like a dungeon or a barren desert. There would be no joy in that house. Besides, all the scriptures also proclaim that the doors of heaven are forever barred to childless couples, and therefore life beyond also would be as gloomy and joyless to them as life in this world. Probably this is, I think this belief is more from a different age, but this does not hold good today. Today we are in the Kali Yuga. There are a lot of women who have decided that they don't want to get married, they don't even want to have children, they don't want to make babies, they want to be independent and they want to do something in their world. I think that's a very perfect understanding. In fact, if you take my own self, I told my Krishna Guruji, I am married to Lord Shri Krishna. That's what I believe. I don't need to get married to any human being, and I want to be independent. I want to serve this world. This entire creation is my child, my children. I can take anybody and I can look after them, but it doesn't mean that you have to have a child. That's not a mandatory, but this is of a different age. So at that time, this lesson were perfect, or the way they understand was fine, because they also believe that only, your son has to, when your parents die, the son is the one who has to go and, light the fire on your pyre, and that is when they attain some, I don't know, not the heavens, they attain the soul, is gets released. There are certain things, but obviously I don't know why that is meant to be like that. I don't have an understanding. I will definitely ask my Krishna Guruji and give you that understanding about it. But this particular way of what it means of not having a child, or you need to have a child, is not a mandatory in today's day and age. You are free to do and live the way you want to live your life. Besides all the scriptures, okay, this is finished. And may perhaps be even far more worse. Okay, besides all the scriptures also proclaim that the doors of heaven are forever barred to childless couples, and therefore life beyond also may be as gloomy and joyless to them as life in this world, and may perhaps be even far more worse. She had seen how happy, contented, and joyous the women who had children were. She had undertaken many fasts, vigils, and vratas, and had also made many pilgrimages, hoping that she would be able to earn the merit to be blessed with a child. But all her prayers and vigils turned futile, and now that she had crossed her 60s, there was no hope at all of her having a child. That was why she was always seized with despair and gloom. Sri Narasimha Saraswati, looking at her with deep compassion, and told her not to lose hope at all. He told her to visit the Sangam daily and offer her worship with single-minded devotion to the Aswatha tree. There, he assured her that the Aswatha tree would certainly fulfill her desires. One of the reasons, if you know the people tree, Aswatha tree is the people tree. If you're in India and you go around some of these Aswatha trees, the people trees in any temple, you would have seen many women, they'll try a thread and they'll go around, circumambulate it. And they have certain wishes that they would pray for. I have done this when I was not for child, but there was some dosha. They call you have I don't know what dosha is, some kind of a bad of some planet. Okay, if you believe in natal charts, that's nothing to do with me anymore. This was way back in time when I was once upon a time, given into believing into astrology and all that nonsensical stuff. So they would ask, it's called a pariharam, means mitigating whatever the bad effect of those planets on your chart, or on your on your being itself. So you go 48 days, you go circumambulate the tree every single day, and you pray you chant or recite certain mantras which is offered to them. And those are all nonsensical stuff. Never indulge in that unless and until it is prescribed by a real master. Don't believe into any of these astrology, geography, philosophy, whatever the nonsensical stuff which exists. Palmistry. People go and wear, I know all colors of stones, you name it. My God, there's so many things on this planet Earth, because we are stupid people, brainless, who have never questioned why should we do something. Here, there is a reason here that Narsimha Saraswati himself is giving a remedy. It's called a remedy. Okay, only when it comes from the divine master and when you understand from him what that means, then it is safe to go and do it, but not from any other person in this world who have no knowledge about this subject. People exploit and swindle money by prescribing such nonsensical things, telling you you have to wear a finger ring which with some fancy stone, diamond, emerald, whatever, and then it'll solve of all your problems, and then some things happen. But why that is happening is never asked, but you believe, you put your faith in that the fingering of yours. What kind of a stupidity is that? I don't understand. What you're missing and failing to understand here is that whatever the problem you're suffering is because of your prarabdha karma. If you're not getting married or if you're not having a child, is only because of your prarabdha karma. In this case, Narsimha Saraswati, out of compassion, blesses her with a child at the age of 60. Only the great master can do this. Nobody on this planet Earth. And which means he's altering her karma. And that is something I can't even discuss how the divine masters do. Only the Lord Shri Krishna or the divine manifestation, Lord Dattatreya, is none other than Shri Krishna himself. Only the greatest of the gurus can do this, not anybody else. And they are never going to say how they will grant you. Please remember. And when it is coming from them, then it is sinless. Nobody else can do this. And if you believe somebody else is going to do this, then you are going to be bound to eternity in all the karma, more karma attached to that. So don't fall for such superstitious belief in this world. Stay away from that. Always question. Only believe in the real master. And when they say go do something like that, then you can follow, not otherwise. The woman prayed to Shree Narsimha Saraswati to enlighten her on the Aswatha Mahima. Guru Nath said that he would narrate to her what Brahmadeva told Narad Rishi about Aswatha Mahima. See, this is coming from Lord, the divine Lord himself. So there is a truth in this, and it has to be done in a particular way, by exactly how your Gurudev prescribes, not any astrologer and philosopher who prescribes it to you. At the foot of the Aswatha tree live all the deities, including Brahmadeva. It is indeed the Kalpa Vriksha. When the rishis requested Narada to teach them the Achara Vidhi regarding the worship of Aswatha tree, Narad Muni enlightened them on the following instructions. The worship of the Aswatha tree should be started on an auspicious day. The days on which there is no moon, that is Chandrabala. The days on which Shukra is not on the ascent, especially during the months of Ashada, that is Pushya and Charitra, are not auspicious days for beginning the Aswatha worship. The worship is to begin in the morning. The worshipper should take a bath first, then 2 kalashas. Kalashas is that, it's a small pot and then you keep a coconut on top of it. That's a kalash, or even just it's a small pot. It's a holy thing. It can be of brass, silver, whatever you want. Filled with water near the tree. Then place 2 kalashas filled with water near the tree. Worship is to be offered to the 2 kalashas while reciting Purusha Sukta. This is to be done 7 times, and then they should take a bath again. After this, Lord Vishnu as Datta, holding the divine weapons in his 6 hands, has to be remembered, and homage has to be paid to him. Then a cloth or thread is to be wrapped around the tree. And pradikshina is circumambulation, is to be done around the tree while reciting the Purusha Sukta again. This pradikshina is equivalent to the pradikshina around the Supreme Purusha, Lord Vishnu, the Virat Purusha himself. It would sanctify the worshipper completely, expiating all his or her sins and conferring immense spiritual benefits besides material prosperity. See, this is the truth. In fact, I am myself learning this today. Why do people circumambulate the people tree? They only know that it's a wish fulfilling. So people go and follow a certain method which is prescribed by all these astrologers or the priest or whoever they go and ask about this. So somebody might have, they call it pariharam. Pariharam means a remedy to absolve you of whatever that bad influence or planetary effects you have on your natal chart. So that is, that is to remove that or reduce that effect. So they will go do this. But here it is very clear. Who are you worshipping? Lord Vishnu, Lord Dattatreya, Purusha, Lord the Purusha himself. And what is most important chant is to be done? Purusha Sukta. But what have we told? Some nonsensical stuff which I have not even understood in my life, and I would just go and recite that. So I did everything wrong. I have not done something like this. I didn't even know Lord Dattatreya at that time. Yeah, Vishnu I knew, but nobody told me visualize, Vishnu over there. They just told me do this. I was a small girl because maybe in 8th standard. It is so funny that you blindly follow people without even understanding any truth. And what is the most important thing? It's said it will confer immense spiritual benefits besides the material prosperity. The most important reason why we are doing this is for spiritual benefits. But what is that we people take it first? Material prosperity. That is why we go after all of these things. So you need to understand why you are doing what you are doing, and only then go do something. Please, otherwise don't follow with, if you don't have knowledge about it, and especially half-baked knowledge is very dangerous. Thereafter, every day, Gangabai used to go to Sangam, take a bath in the holy waters of the confluence there, and then offer her worship to the Aswatha tree. On the 3rd night, in her dream, a Brahmin appeared and told her to go to the mutt and to do 7 pradikshanas around Guru Nath himself and to eat whatever prasad Guru Nath would give her. How sweet! Who is Guru Nath? Lord Dattatreya himself. And it is so important to, yes, circumambulate the Lord, divine Lord. Fall at his feet. How beautiful it is. See, we don't understand. We don't give importance to the Guru who is there with us, the Parabrahman, the God himself. When we look at him, oh, he's a fragile human being, eating, sleeping, doing everything like an ordinary human being. That is what hits us. But we cannot see him in the divine aspect. Why? Because we are tainted by our mind. We need to see some garb, dawn. We have to see him some ochre clothes. Yeah, here Nrsimha Saraswati was ascetic completely. He's a sannyasi. So that was a different story. But even then, people didn't understand who this sannyasi was, the Parabrahman. They thought, oh, he's some ascetic. He's some sannyasi. That's all. That is how people even regarded him. On the 3rd night, okay, finish this. Next day, she did accordingly. Guru Nath gave her 2 fruits as prasad and told her that a son and a daughter would be born to her before long. 2 beautiful children, boy and girl, were born to her as per Guru Nath's blessings. And the Brahmin couple were immensely happy. See, your Guru is so sweet, born of compassion. He just blessed her. At 68 years of age, can anybody give birth? That's next to impossible. But with the grace of the divine Lord Almighty, anything is possible. When the Guru says the sun is, rising from west, that is the truth. That is the gospel truth. You have to accept. Of course it will. That is the power he holds. But he's never going to show that power, or he's not going to say he wants to prove his power or greatness on this planet Earth. But that is what to say, Guru Vakya. That's the reason for us to follow Dhyana Moolam, Gurur Murti, Puja Moolam, Gurur Padam, Mantra Moolam, Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam, Gurur Krupam. Without a Guru, there is nothing in this universe that is possible. God realization is next to impossible. Only the Guru is the doorway to God, because Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So the Parabrahma can give anything to you because he is the master of this universe. What are you asking for a petty child? Of course, you think he can't grant you. You can be at 60 or 80. He will grant you all the ability to give birth. That is the power he holds. So never ever doubt your Guru, and don't even question, and please don't come with a begging bowl. Most important, ask for your spiritual weal. That is the highest thing that you can get the boon bestowed from your Gurudev, because the something that you can't get is the spiritual weal. Seek that. Ask for that. Don't ask for material benefits. What has to come to you will anyway come to you at the God's appointed timing. So don't doubt it ever. Seek that you have to be redeemed from this material worldly bondage. That is the highest boon you can ask your Gurudev. So if you have a Guru in your life, please don't waste your time and his time. Learn and evolve on the path of spirituality. In fact, recently my Guruji had put up a post on Facebook, and in that said that the spiritual journey or the path is very painful. It is not for the weak, light-heartedness people or for somebody who has a weak heart. They cannot take it on, and so those people have to just be the sadhakas who are going to follow certain path, which is the path ordained by the divine Lord Almighty Himself. So spirituality is only for few chosen ones. But if you really want that spiritual wheel, then go after it. Be ready to take on whatever the problems that comes with that, because it is only a purification process. See, there is no problems. It is the test that is going to come to you, the test of where you stand, and the test of for you to understand the truth. What does actually a guru do? The guru removes your imperfections of the material world and perfects your spiritual knowledge. That is what he does. So it is quite of painful because your pink color glasses it breaks, and it breaks over a period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. To understand the divine master is not so easy. I can even be living with him even 12 years. Even today I don't know my Guruji. I can never know him because he's Atanga Sagar. He's limitless ocean. How can I know him? I cannot know. Who is this I? The I is the ego. So can I know him? No. When the I is surrendered, then only knowledge, the truth shines. God is, love is. There is nothing to know then. Then you become one with that truth. You become that love. You become that Parabrahma, the divine being. That is what is meant, is the meaning of God realization. Love just is. And that love is unconditional. It's very pure. It's selfless. There is no selfishness. You will be able to see God in everybody. Then you're not going to look at that human being and make judgments. Today what happens? We get tainted with the way how people behave. Because we're looking at that body. We have to go beyond that. To look at the divinity, the subtle form is what we have to see. But for us to see that, it was only with the grace of the divine Lord. When we overcome the minds, the swaying of the mind, right to left, like a pendulum, likes, dislikes. We have to have equanimity of mind. And once we evolve with the grace of the Guru, we will be able to see God in every being. And that comes over a period of time through arduous effort, extraordinary effort in doing your spiritual sadhana. It is not so easy at all. So journey that path. It is very beautiful. So even today, I'll tell you, 12 years and still for me, it's like, oh my God, my Guruji had told me this many years, I didn't understand. And like I keep saying that dimag ka batti, that light, when it lights, oh my God, this is what you said. But it has taken me 3 years to understand this one simple lesson. That was what happens in spirituality. It is not so easy to understand this divine master and his words, what he is saying to you. It is a long drawn process. So even if you ask me today, I am still learning. My Guruji will say, your learning is over. There's no over. You continue to learn. And the furthermore difficult thing is application of that lesson. If you don't know how to practically apply that knowledge, what you have learned, it's even more difficult. So the application of knowledge will happen, and that happens with the grace of the Guru over a period of time. Then you will understand how to apply what you have learned. So more tests will come in your way, on your way, and then you will be tested whether you are able to apply that knowledge which is being imparted to you or not. And if you don't, then you will still have to do your sadhana and continue with the journey, because the same test is going to repeat itself again and again till the time that knowledge doesn't perfect within yourself. So this is the truth about spirituality, and who is this Guru, what is his nature, and who we human beings are, and how we need to overcome our nature and attain the divine nature. Okay, with that, we end this chapter today. Thus ends the 39th chapter of Shree Guru Charitra. Glory to the all-merciful, the omnipresent and the ever-responsive Guru Nath. Thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Happy Thursday once again, and wishing you all a happy Maha Shivratri. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nath Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.